folks, and welcome to Four Corners of the Galley. I'm your host, PBO, and you're joining me on an extension show. This is an extension of our basic fantasy football advice. Each week, every Thursday, I'm going to bring you my start and sit for quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and tight end, plus my Hail Mary pick of the week. And every Tuesday, I'm going to let you know, I'm going to recap the biggest injuries from the past weekend, and then tell you who to pick up on the waiver wire for that following week. So, this is the extension show. So, next up is going to be the little doc to tell you all the big injuries, and then you're going to catch Coach PBO on the last one, who's going to tell you to pick up on the waiver wire. So, without further ado, folks, let's kick it right over to there. Hello, all. Injuries are a big part of the game. MD, PhD, LVP, and all the other different things here. I'm here to recap all the big injuries from week 1 at the NFL. So this is going to impact fantasy in a big way. So bear with me, folks. Might have a little trouble saying these names, but wanted to let you know all the big things that happened. So here are the big injuries from week 1. Mr. Leonard Fournette, running back of the Jacksonville Jaguars. You better watch out for that, folks. He left the game with a hamstring. You got Greg Olsen, the old man River, for the tight end for the Carolina. He left in a walking boot. That does not look good, folks. Then we have Mr. Deshaun Jackson, wide receiver for Tampa Bay. After scorching the Saints, he gets hurt. Not looking good, folks. Doug Baldwin, wide receiver for Seattle. He got hurt early, and I heard it was his knee. That's never good. And then we're going to move on to the Titans, who seem to have their own injuries at all. Mr. Delaney Walker. Oh, so sorry, sir. The tight end, he's out for the year with his ankle. Marcus Mariota, he hurt his throwing elbow somehow. Taylor Wan, I never thought that guy could ever get hurt. He got hurt somehow. And the big one of the night, the one-legged Aaron Rodgers. I don't know how that's going to work out, folks. But don't wait for next week, because you might need someone to replace him. So let's get over to the coach so he can give you a little good news on some people that you might need to replace some of these guys. Bring it on, Coach. What's going on, guys? Coach PBO back here to give you your waiver wire pickups for week 2. Waiver wires are essential for fantasy football. And if you had a rough week and you lost some of those players that we just mentioned in the last one, or maybe some of your players just underperformed, I'm here to give you each position the top picks that you could probably pick up in your league based on the ownership and what they did first week. So let's kick it off with the quarterbacks. All right, folks. So my top 2 pickups for this week on the waiver wire, as I got Case Keenum, quarterback for the Denver Broncos. He scored 31 points in his first game. He's only owned in ESPN and Yahoo plus NFL between 25%, 13%, and 15%. Still available in a lot of leagues. Check it out. Then I got Mr. Joe Flacco, quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. He came out with a scorching 27 points, and he's only owned a 7%, 4%, and 2%. So he's available in every league, folks. Go down below and check that out. Moving on to the wide receivers. First up, I got Mr. Tyler Lockett for the Seattle Seahawks, wide receiver. He might be the most owned out of all of them, folks. He scored a whopping 12 points, and he's owned 51, 53, and 55%. So he's still halfway available in a lot of leagues. Then I have his teammate, Brandon Marshall, wide receiver for Seattle. He scored 10 points. He's only owned 7, 5, and 3% in the respective leagues. Trust me, with Doug Baldwin going down, that ball needs to go somewhere. Then we have Geronimo Allison, now the wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. So half the time we never know about any of these Packers because they're all homegrown. He's only owned 12, 9, and 8% in respective leagues, and he scored 12 points in week 1. So check that out. Moving on to the running backs, folks. Here's my top picks for waiver wire pickups for running backs. I got Mr. Austin Eckler, running back for the Los Angeles Chargers. He scored 18 points, and he's available he's only owned in 10%, 17%, and 13% in leagues. So he's available in a lot. Then I got Mr. Philip Lindsay, running back for the Denver Broncos. He scored 16 points, and he's only owned 4, 2, and 1% in respective leagues. Then the guy that probably everybody's going to go after, Mr. T.J. Yeldon, running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He scored 13 points, and he's only owned 8, 15, and 12% in respective leagues, so he's available in almost every league. And last but not least, folks, I got your tight ends. Here's my top picks for tight ends, waiver wire, week 2. At 1, I got Will Desley, I hope I said his name right, tight end for the Seattle Seahawks. He scored 19 points, and he's only on 1%, 2%, and 1%. So he's basically available in everybody's league. And then you got Eric Ebron. As much as it pains me to say, as an ex-Lion, he went off for 15 points. Maybe Andrew Luck will turn him around. And he's only on 16, 33, and 25% in respective leagues. Now, in case you guys are trying to figure out the own percentages, that's the percentage he's actually owned. So Eric Ebron's only owned 25% and 25% of all ESPN leagues, or 16% of all Yahoo leagues. That's everyone's league. So that means he's available in 84% and available in 75% in the other ones. That's a lot of percentages. So make sure you guys hit those waiver wires. Check it out. Check me out on Thursday so I give you your start and sit for all the respective positions. Until then, folks, hit those wires and let's go.